Welcome back to the deep dive.
Great to be here.
Our mission, as always, is to take these huge stacks of sources. We've got research, articles, expert notes, and just distill the absolute essential knowledge you need.
The need to know stuff.
Exactly, to help you navigate the modern world with, well, a bit more confidence. And if you've been navigating the dating scene lately, or even just trying to understand the language of modern relationships,
Oh, yeah.
you know that it can feel less like a fun adventure and more like a high-stakes, really confusing labyrinth.
That's a perfect way to put it. The sources we've gathered for this deep dive, they all confirm that dating has evolved so quickly, it almost requires its own specialized academic vocabulary.
Right.
We're so far beyond just having a crush or going steady.
Oh, miles beyond.
We're now in this era of like hyper-specific dynamics, from situationships to roaching. And if you don't get the language, the whole thing is just, it's going to feel stressful and exclusionary.
And that's really the core of our mission today. We are unpacking this incredibly dense landscape of modern romance. We're focusing on the trends, the lexicon, specifically of 2026.
Yeah.
And we're not just giving you definitions, we're giving you the strategic analysis. We're taking the confusion out of the conversation, treating dating less like some unsolvable guessing game.
And more like a skill.
Exactly. A high-value, learnable skill. Think of it like this. Mastering modern dating is kind of like learning a new dance.
Okay, I like that.
You have to understand the basic steps. That's the slang we're going to cover. You need to follow the rhythm of your partner. That's all about communication.
Uh-huh.
And this is the crucial part, you cannot be afraid of a misstep because every mistake is just data. It's part of learning how to be a better dancer.
That analogy is perfect because if you understand the basic rules and, the vocabulary of the dance floor, you just approach the whole thing with so much more confidence.
Right, less anxiety.
Infinitely less anxiety. So we're providing that vocabulary, that strategy, and that essential shift in mindset. Let's jump straight into the glossary because understanding the slang is step one.
It's essential for communication today.
Absolutely.
Okay, let's unpack this essential modern vocabulary. And we have to start with the term that seems to define relationship ambiguity today, the situationship.
The big one.
Yeah, this is where so much emotional energy just gets drained. So break down the core concept for us.
Okay, so a situationship is, at its core, it's a romantic relationship. It's often physically intimate.
Right.
But it completely lacks established labels. There are no formal boundaries, no mutual definition. It's in that gray area.
So it's like relationship purgatory.
That's a great term for it, romantic purgatory. You're more than friends, you've got chemistry, maybe even a history, but you are explicitly not exclusive.
Or officially dating.
Not at all. The emotional stakes can feel really high, but the commitment level is basically zero.
And the situationship, it usually grows right out of what everyone calls the talking phase. This is the testing ground, isn't it?
It is. The talking phase is that that critical period between the first few DMs or flirty texts and actually being official.
Okay.
During this time, you're usually texting this one person way more than anyone else. You might have even admitted you have feelings.
Or at least like a strong interest.
A strong mutual interest, exactly. But neither of you has declared exclusivity or, made a formal claim. It's this long period of just testing the waters.
And the pressure comes from the fact that your emotional investment is going up and up.
But the commitment level is staying dangerously low.
Yeah. So when you're stuck in that talking phase or you're deep in a situationship, the only way out is usually the DTR conversation.
The dreaded DTR.
The conversation everyone dreads.
Define the relationship. That's when you finally have to sit down and use actual words to clarify, what are we doing here? Where is this going?
Or should it just stop?
Or should it stop?
Yeah?
This conversation happens when one person, or maybe both, just decides they can't live in the ambiguity anymore. They need to make it official, set some boundaries, or just walk away.
And given that modern singles, especially now in 2026, are all about clear expectations.
Yeah, the DTR is becoming more and more necessary. It's the only way to avoid getting stuck in that romantic limbo for months or even years.
All right, let's lighten the mood a little bit. Let's talk about the shorthand for attraction. We've had bae for years, right? Before anyone else, or just baby, a pet name.
A classic.
But then you get these terms that signal a really specific kind of attraction, like zaddy or snack.
Right. So a zaddy is an attractive man, but he's often sophisticated, well-dressed, And crucially, the sources say there's often this connotation of him being a little bit older.
Okay, so there's a maturity aspect.
Exactly. It's an appreciation for a certain, like, grounded confidence along with the style. And then you have snack with two C's.
Which is pretty self-explanatory.
It really is. It just describes an attractive person,
Yeah.
someone who looks good enough to eat. It's an easy, low-commitment way to signal that surface-level attraction, usually online.
Now let's get to a term that everyone needs to understand if they want to translate modern social success. Riz.
Riz.
This word seems to just capture the entire idea of dating skill in 4 letters.
It really does. Riz, which is short for charisma, is basically that charm, that game, that effortless, flirty behavior that lets someone attract a partner easily.
So it's not just about how you look.
Not at all. It's about that magnetic social confidence, that ability to engage that just pulls people in. Our sources say someone with great whiz can charm almost anyone just by being witty and confident in how they talk. It's the polar opposite of being awkward.
And speaking of charisma and archetypes, the dating scene loves its character types. We have the golden retriever boyfriend.
The golden retriever boyfriend. He's super friendly, loyal, eager to please, the partner that all your friends and family absolutely love because he's just low drama and high affection.
And the foil to that, the necessary opposite, is the black cat girlfriend.
Right. She's sort of the Gen Z response to the old, needy, high-maintenance stereotype. Instead, she's defined by this strong independence, a certain mystery.
She prioritizes herself.
She prioritizes herself and her own space. She projects self-sufficiency, low neediness.
Then you have the Sigma male, which is interesting because it runs completely counter to that whole alpha archetype that dominated dating advice for so long.
Totally. The Sigma is the quiet, independent, lone wolf type. He's defined by self-reliance. He operates outside the established social hierarchy.
So he's not looking for dominance or validation from the group.
Not at all. He's self-contained. And that's a really interesting shift. You know, it suggests that all that performance and showing off is being replaced by quiet competence as a desirable trait.
Let's move to relationship signals, because this is where the terminology has just become microscopic. We all know red flags, but toxic, dangerous signals. Our sources give specific examples, like someone calling all their exes crazy.
Which is a huge red flag. It shows zero accountability.
Or bad tipping habits, which just signals poor social awareness. And we also know green flags. The good stuff, like having genuinely low screen time or owning a proper bed frame.
A sign of stability.
A sign of adulting, yes. But the really fascinating part is the stuff in between those extremes, like pink flags.
Pink flags. These aren't immediate deal breakers, but they are cautions. They're not huge warnings that something is fundamentally broken, but they hint that the relationship might not be super healthy.
So what's an example?
Maybe they talk about themselves constantly, or they always show up 5 minutes late and don't apologize. They're just minor things you need to keep an eye on.
And then there's the truly niche, sometimes just baffling category, beige flags. You said these are mostly benign quirks, but why do they even need their own category?
Beige flags are those specific quirky traits that are basically harmless but might just make you pause. The source examples are things like enthusiastic birdwatching, which isn't bad, but it might signal a major difference in how you spend your free time, or paying their rent in cash.
That's oddly specific.
It is, but it suggests a strangely analog approach to life. The reason they get their own label is because they aren't deal breakers, but they are memorable, and they signal this slight disconnect from the mainstream that might require some patience. A beige flag isn't bad, it's just there.
Okay, I have to ask about this one, the ick. It can be something as simple as seeing someone run for a bus that seems so irrational.
It is completely irrational, and that's the whole point. The psychology of the ick is fascinating.
Yeah.
It's this random, often mundane turnoff that instantly just shuts down all desire.
A visceral aversion.
Exactly. Popular examples are running for a bus, wearing flip-flops in the city, wearing way too much makeup. These tiny things can just make a person completely undateable in your eyes overnight.
But why? Running for a bus is a normal human thing.
It is, but it's less about the action and more about how it shatters the curated image you had of that person. Running for a bus looks a little panicked, a little clumsy.
It breaks the illusion of riz.
It breaks the illusion of riz. It's that sudden jolt of awkward humanity that could just stop the dance before it even starts.
Understanding all these terms from situationships to icks is the first step. But the real deep dive starts when we understand the core trend that all these words are pointing to.
And that's what's so fascinating here. The fact that we even have all this hyper-specific vocabulary, it's directly tied to this massive irreversible trend shift in 2026.
Which is what?
Singles are now prioritizing emotional safety and crystal clear honesty over all those traditional dating games. We are witnessing a societal rejection of chaos.
It feels like a collective sigh of relief, you know? After years of apt dating fatigue, singles are they're tired of playing detective and trying to decode ambiguous signals.
The data confirms it. Emotional honesty isn't just a preference anymore. It is the #1 dating priority. The new baseline for any healthy connection is emotional safety.
Right.
People are demanding labeled intentions and clear expectations from the very first interaction. They're rejecting those old styles that relied on mixed signals or toxic silence tests.
Where one person goes quiet just to see if the other person will chase them.
Exactly. That and disappearing acts. The ambiguity that used to seem mysterious or hard to get is now just seen as stressful, immature, and, frankly, exhausting.
And this is why we say clarity is confidence. If someone genuinely wants you and they value your time, they are going to use their words.
They will.
And this trend means behaviors like ghosting, just getting dumped via radio silence with no explanation, are being seen for what they are: passive-aggressive and disrespectful. People are demanding adult communication.
And that rejection of ambiguity leads straight to this proactive approach called hardballing.
Hardballing.
It's a strategy of being upfront and completely honest from the start about what you want in a relationship. Whether you're looking for marriage or just hookups or a specific non-monogamous setup, you state it clearly from day one.
Hardballing sounds intense, almost confrontational. Does it ever backfire, make you seem arrogant?
It can sound intense, yeah, but it's intensely efficient. The goal isn't to be arrogant, it's to be a filter. You're communicating that your time and your emotional energy are valuable.
Okay.
If someone is looking for something casual and you state that you're only dating for marriage, that mismatch is clear immediately. It saves both of you weeks, maybe months, of wasted time.
So it weeds out incompatible partners right away.
Immediately, allowing you to focus only on high-potential connections.
That makes sense. And that desire for efficiency and clarity, it aligns with this big rejection of deception we're seeing. Let's get into some of the manipulative behaviors that singles are now just highly tuned into, starting with love bombing.
Love bombing is so insidious because at first it feels amazing. It's when someone gives you excessive affection, attention, flattery, gifts right at the beginning.
So it feels like this instant perfect chemistry.
Right. But it's actually a manipulative attempt to win you over quickly and create this immediate emotional dependency.
Yeah.
And it often comes before they suddenly pull all that attention away.
It's high effort, but low sincerity.
Exactly. Then you have things that really undermine a partner's sense of self, like gaslighting.
Which is a term we hear a lot now.
It's a highly toxic form of psychological manipulation, where a partner just systematically makes you doubt your own memory, your perception, even your sanity. They deny things they said or did. They convince you that you're overreacting.
You're attacking your reality.
Which is the direct opposite of that emotional safety that 2026 singles are demanding.
And what about that classic technique, negging?
Nagging. It's using backhanded compliments. A subtle insult framed as a flirtation. It's designed to lower your self-esteem just a little bit, to make you crave their approval.
Like, you look great tonight, especially since you usually look so tired.
Exactly that. Thankfully, modern daters are spotting this toxic behavior from a mile away and just rejecting it.
Then there's the classic time waster, breadcrumbing.
Breadcrumbing. It's leading someone on with these sporadic, flirty messages. Maybe they like your social media posts or send a random hey text.
Just enough to keep you interested.
Just enough attention. The breadcrumb trail to keep you emotionally attached, but with absolutely zero intention of actually committing to a real relationship.
It's validation on demand for them and a total waste of time for you.
For sure. And the deceit online has gotten so subtle. We now have kitten fishing.
Not catfishing, but kitten fishing.
Right. It's the less extreme, more common version. It's misleading people online without telling outright blatant lies.
So like using photos that are a few years old.
Exactly. Or carefully cropped angles or, small exaggerations about your job title. It's putting your slightly fictionalized best foot forward. But it's just enough deceit to be a real disappointment when you meet in person.
And finally, a really specific kind of digital lie that's tied to values. Woke fishing.
Woke fishing is when someone pretends to have liberal or progressive social and political values online to attract a partner who holds those values.
But they don't actually believe any of it.
Not in real life, no. They exploit the desire for shared values in a partner, but the whole facade just crumbles as soon as a real-world discussion comes up. It really highlights how high the stakes are for value alignment in modern dating.
So if singles are rejecting all this chaos and ambiguity, what are they actually prioritizing instead? The sources point really heavily toward consistency and micro-intimacy.
Consistency is the new signal of high value. Singles are valuing staying power and predictability over the dramatic ups and downs of old-school chemistry.
Intentionality over spectacle.
Precisely. And that's where micro-intimacy comes in. It's the new romantic currency.
Define that for us, because this is subtle, but it feels really profound. It's not about big, grand gestures.
No, not at all. Micro-intimacy is about those small, intentional actions that build genuine trust and comfort over time.
Like what?
Things like consistent check-ins, genuine warmth and presence when you're together. And this is critical. Dedicated emotional repair right after a conflict. Instead of just giving the silent treatment, it's the steadiness of the connection that matters most.
And that leads to that definitive expert question from our sources. Do I feel safe, seen, and wanted, even on a Monday?
The Monday test.
That question just perfectly captures this demand for low-drama, high-consistency relationships that work on a normal day, not just on a spectacular date night.
That Monday test is so crucial. If the answer is a clear yes, you found a relationship that provides that foundational emotional safety. It confirms that the dramatic, chaotic chemistry that used to be celebrated is now just seen as exhausting.
And unsustainable. This focus on quality means singles are just done with the quantity over quality game that dating apps first encouraged.
Oh, totally. They're cutting the fluff of endless chatting or swiping out of curiosity. They're treating dating apps like a high-value asset, prioritizing meaningful connections over just digital clutter.
The exhausting turn of just collecting matches for a quick ego boost has lost its appeal.
Right. Singles are realizing, I might be able to talk to 50 people, but I can only realistically invest in one or two at a time. This strategic selectivity means they're actively rejecting behaviors designed just to keep options open.
Like benching and cushioning. What do those actually look like?
So benching is keeping someone on the sidelines, basically, as a backup option. You string them along with just enough attention, maybe a text every couple of weeks, for when your preferred options don't work out.
And cushioning.
Cushioning is similar, but it often happens while you're already in a relationship. It's keeping contact with other potential partners to serve as an emotional cushion if your current relationship ends. Both are rooted in a fear of being alone.
Then you have deception within a relationship, like roaching.
Roaching is when you find out the person you thought you were dating seriously is actually seeing several other people and just never told you.
Oh, that's bad.
It's really deceptive. They're basically forcing their partners into an open relationship without any consent or knowledge. The term comes from the idea that if you see one roach, you know there are a lot more hidden away.
And then there's pocketing.
Pocketing is when someone actively avoids introducing you to their friends or family. They're essentially keeping the relationship hidden from their social circle.
Which suggests they're not taking it seriously.
Exactly. Or they aren't truly committed.
Yeah.
And finally, when singles are on the receiving end of all this, they have their own less than honest ways of backing out. We have fizzling and quiet quitting.
Okay.
Fizzling is the slow, agonizing version of ghosting. You just gradually lose interest, your replies get shorter and later, until the whole thing just fades away with no closure.
And quiet quitting.
That's when you emotionally check out of the relationship. You reduce your effort in communication, just hoping your partner will be the one to end it so you can avoid the conflict.
And all of these just point back to a lack of willingness to have that clear, honest communication that everyone says they want. Okay, so we've got the dictionary down, and we understand this demand for clarity. Now we get to the really actionable part, the execution. Specifically, how do you confidently ask someone on a date?
Yes.
Because our sources say this is a huge deal. Asking someone out feels more nerve-wracking than a major job interview for over half of Gen Z daters.
That anxiety is a massive barrier. The fear of rejection just holds so many people back. But the good news is, asking someone out is a learnable skill. It has a clear, predictable structure.
And it starts by ditching the terrible small talk.
Please, ditch the small talk. The same hard questions. What do you do? Where are you from? They feel like an interview, and they generate zero connection.
So how do we get past that script?
You need alternative conversation starters that actually reveal shared interests. So instead of the interview style, try asking for advice. Where is the best pizza place around here? Asking for advice positions them as the expert, which is flattering. Or you can be playful, create a little emergency scenario, like you can't decide between two coffees. It invites collaboration.
I love the idea of using unexpected, open questions. Things that spark imagination, not just a resume. Like, if you could go anywhere tomorrow, where would you go and why?
Yes. Or, if you were a superhero, what would your one completely useless superpower be? These questions spark a real conversation. They reveal personality.
And then in that conversation, you find that moment of shared commonality, a mutual love for an obscure band or a shared frustration. That's your bridge.
That is your diving board. And once you've found that, you are ready for the three-part confidence formula for the invitation itself.
Let's break down that three-part structure because this is the critical takeaway for anyone who wants to move from the talking phase to actually dating.
Okay, so this formula, it's engineered to make your invitation clear, specific, and confident. It minimizes ambiguity and nervousness for everyone.
Part one.
Part one is the claim. You bring up that shared topic or interest you just discovered. This grounds the invitation in reality.
Okay.
Part two is excitement. Add some positive emotion. This is going to be fun, delicious, incredible. You're selling the experience a little.
Got it.
And part three is the direct ask. A simple, unambiguous request for their company.
So let's put this into practice. Let's say the diving board is a shared interest in wine.
Perfect. So instead of a vague suggestion, you'd say, you mentioned you love Argentinian Malbec. There's a specialized tasting event at Rico's next week, and they have an amazing rare selection.
That's the claim and the excitement.
Exactly. Then the ask. Would you like to go with me on Thursday? See how the claim links back to something they said. It feels personal.
Right. Or if the diving board was live music, you might say, I heard about a fantastic small jazz club opening this weekend. The trio playing is supposed to be incredible.
Claim and excitement.
I'd love for you to come with me. The ask. It works because it provides context and positive feeling along with a clear request. It's a proposal, not just a vague question.
And this really stresses the absolute importance of specificity. Vagueness is an anxiety generator. You have to avoid asking, want to hang out sometime?
That is the death of dating momentum. It puts all the emotional labor on the other person to figure out what, when, and where.
Exactly. So you must use specifics. A definite time, a definite place, a definite activity. Would you like to get dinner at Angelo's on Friday at 7? That specificity signals genuine interest and confidence.
The very things 2026 singles are demanding.
Right. And that clarity also applies to how you lead up to the ask. Let's talk about the strategy of planting a seed.
Okay, what is that?
Planting a sneaky seed is a soft launch strategy. You casually mention something you'd like to do before you make the formal ask. You're just introducing the idea and gauging their reaction.
So it feels more collaborative and less abrupt.
Precisely. If you casually say, I'm thinking about checking out that new art exhibit downtown next weekend, and they light up and say, oh, I've been meaning to go there.
Then you know you're probably going to get a yes when you circle back later with the three-part formula.
It's a low-risk way to test the waters. Now, as for how you ask in person, is great for reading body language and showing that riz. But if your nerves are going to completely sabotage you,
Text is okay.
text might be better for the logistics. You can use it to spike interest, like with a playful challenge. I bet you can't beat me at karaoke.
Yeah.
But a strong warning here against endless texting.
Right. The goal is always to get to the face-to-face date. Is all the chemistry is on a screen, it often just evaporates in real life. All right, you've used the formula, you've secured the date. Let's talk about execution, especially for something low commitment like a coffee date. First, basic etiquette.
When you arrive, just establish a polite, respectful tone. When you're ordering, simple courtesy matters. Ask, what would you like to drink? Or say, I'll grab a medium latte, please.
Using I would like instead of I want. It's small, but it signals consideration.
It does. And for the conversation, the key is what we said earlier. Avoid the interview. You have to ask open questions that invite stories, not just yes or no answers.
So not, do you like living here?
No. Instead, ask, what brings you to this area and what do you like to do on weekends to unwind? And then you have to actively listen. Don't just jump to the next question. The goal is to engage, not interrogate.
What about the silence? The awkward pause is one of the most stressful parts of a first date.
It is, but the advice here is actually profound. Don't panic. If silence hits, just smile, take a sip of your drink, and hold that pause.
Why?
Because that silence is often a signal of comfort. It means you're both thinking or absorbing what was just said. When you allow silence, it signals emotional safety. It shows you don't feel the need to constantly perform.
That's a great point. And compliments, they should tie back to that micro-intimacy idea, right? Simple and honest.
Exactly. Avoid huge declarations. Just low effort and truthful things like, I like your smile, or you have great energy, it's relaxing to talk to you.
And if you get a compliment,
Resist the urge to deflect it. Accept it gracefully. Just say thank you. Accepting a compliment is a huge signal of self-assurance.
okay, here's where it gets really interesting, moving beyond the words. Humor as the strongest indicator of attraction. This isn't just an observation, there's research behind this.
The research is compelling. Shared laughter is one of the strongest indicators of mutual romantic interest. It outweighs shared hobbies, even physical attractiveness, over time.
Really?
Yeah. When two strangers meet, the more a woman genuinely laughs at a man's attempts at humor, the more likely she is to be interested in dating him.
Yeah.
And when both people are laughing together, it's an even stronger signal of rapport.
And this isn't about being a stand-up comedian, which is a relief for most of us.
Not at all. It's about being fun, accessible. Humor is subtle, a smile, a playful observation. It's about spontaneity and genuine engagement. If you're busy rehearsing lines in your head, you're not present.
And fun signals warmth and psychological ease, which everyone finds attractive.
For sure. If you can laugh together, it means your future is likely to be a lot more resilient and cheerful.
That focus on genuine confidence leads us right to body language. What nonverbal cues should we be paying attention to?
In terms of interest, women often show it by adjusting their clothing, playing with their hair, or tilting their head to expose their neck. It's a subtle, vulnerable signal. Men tend to stand straighter, square their shoulders, and display their hands to signal openness.
But the posture confidence link is the real game changer here. It's not just about how others see you, it actually influences how you feel about yourself.
It's incredible. Research shows that sitting upright with your shoulders back doesn't just make you look confident, it physiologically creates confidence in your own thoughts.
So your body is telling your brain to be more confident.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Participants who sat upright rated their own opinions and thoughts more positively than those who were slumped over. Your posture is actively affecting how much you believe in what you're saying.
So if you stand tall and maintain open body language, your brain follows suit. You feel more positive, more capable. That's the highest form of riz right there. Okay, we've covered the strategies for success, but now we have to talk about the inevitable reality of dating: rejection. And the biggest mindset shift here is reframing rejection as data.
You have to. Rejection should never be internalized as a personal failure.
Yeah.
It is just neutral information about fit. Every no brings you closer to the right yes because it filters out an incompatibility.
So treat it like a scientist treats an experiment.
Yes. Each attempt provides critical feedback that improves the next try. Maybe the timing is off, maybe you're not their type, but that doesn't mean you're not someone else's type.
And your response when they say no is so critical. You have to stay light, show zero resentment, and just exit gracefully.
Absolutely. If they decline, a simple lighthearted response like, fair enough, your loss on my excellent tasting coffee, and then moving on, immediately shows incredible confidence.
And maturity.
A graceful response to no can actually impress people more than the original ask. It sometimes keeps doors open for the future. Bitterness or pleading just confirms they made the right call.
This whole philosophy requires a focus on mindset and growth. Every date, every conversation is just practice. It's not a pass-fail test on your worth.
Right. Awkward moments or small mistakes are just feedback, not failure. And this ties directly into the sweatpants theory.
Sweatpants theory.
It's the idea that being completely comfortable and effortlessly yourself, like when you're wearing your favorite sweatpants, is what makes you genuinely attractive. It embraces authenticity, which Gen Z considers the gold standard of dating. It reduces all that performance anxiety.
It's embracing your unvarnished, comfortable self, which, ironically, is what creates real emotional safety for a partner. And we have to remember the value of every connection, even if there's no romantic spark.
Totally. The person who gives you zero romantic chemistry might introduce you to your future partner. Keep practicing. Keep expanding your network. Every interaction is skill building.
But unfortunately, not every non-starter ends with clear communication. Sometimes you have to navigate the aftermath of ghosting. What are the terms for those toxic reappearances?
Okay, so we have zombieing. That's when someone who previously ghosted you suddenly reappears. Maybe with a casual hey text, acting like nothing ever happened.
They shuffle back from the dead.
They do, and it's profoundly disrespectful of your time. And then there's orbiting.
Orbiting. That's such a perfect digital age term.
Isn't it? They stop all direct communication, but they stay right on your social media radar. They're liking your photos, viewing your stories. They're revolving around you like a digital ghost, just close enough to stay in your mind without ever having a real conversation.
If you find yourself dealing with that kind of toxic behavior or just feeling overwhelmed, crashing out, as they call it is so important to remember the core trend we discussed.
Yeah.
Clear communication and emotional safety are the new standard. These passive behaviors are just beneath the expectations of 2026 dating, and you should swiftly reject them.
Prioritize your own emotional safety, always.
So let's bring it all back home. We've covered a lot. You are now equipped with the vocabulary and the strategy to approach modern dating with genuine confidence.
We covered the essential vocabulary from the situationship to the ultimate game changer, Riz, and the detailed signals of pink and beige flags. And we really dissected that new relationship currency, emotional safety, and the slow build of micro-intimacy.
And we gave you that actionable strategy, the three-part formula, claim plus excitement plus ask, and the need for specificity. We also showed you the power of nonverbal cues, how shared laughter is the strongest indicator of mutual interest, and how confident posture literally creates confidence in your own mind.
Dating in 2026 is moving away from chaos. It's moving away from high-drama choreography and panic dating. It's demanding a genuine connection built on a foundation of emotional clarity and consistency, something that feels safe and reliable, not frantic.
You are now equipped with the basic steps, the rhythm, and the courage to get on that dance floor. The complexity is only skin deep. The core goal is still just finding a comfortable, genuine human connection.
And that leads us to a final thought for you to think about. We've established that relationships now prioritize future-proofing, aligning with long-term goals, and they completely reject performance, acting like someone you're not.
Right.
So what critical element of your current life or your personality are you still hiding? Either from potential partners or maybe even from yourself, that might actually be the very thing that helps you find true alignment and authentic, lasting connection.